Hello everyone and welcome back to Bubo Bubo Mystery Incorporated. The story you're about to hear is an original from our channel. Enjoy! I think something stares at me when I sleep. It was a cool summer night. The air was fresh and the crickets, like always, were chirping. Then I heard bizarre rustling noises outside of my house. It was like as if something was moving sporadically inside the bushes. I am a light sleeper, so that woke me up. But at first I drew no mind, since here in the rural areas there are a lot of animals that pass by, especially raccoons. They always try their luck with the trash cans. I tried to go back to sleep, but the rustling noises did not cease, at least until the early hours of the morning. So I stayed awake all night. Eventually, morning came. My eyes had bags under them. I hesitantly stepped into my kitchen to cook breakfast and to make myself some coffee. There, I saw James welcoming me with a smile. You look like you have seen better days. Oh, yeah, I wasn't able to sleep very well last night. There were some animals making noises outside. Anyways, today is your big interview, isn't it? Yeah, I know. Well, if everything goes according to plan, we will finally be able to sell this place and go to the big city. But for now, that can take second place in my concerns. What I'm most worried about is this little fella over here. He caressed my belly. I was 4 months pregnant. I was feeling the symptoms getting better and better. The mommy should get some rest, so this little guy can become strong and vigorous. Yeah, you go now, or else you will be late for your interview. I'm going. Good luck. Thanks. It is not like we despised the rural area and the home that we had. After all, it was quite a big house and it was well built. Yep, my grandfather built it all made of oak. It could outlast 5 generations easily. But we just wanted our baby to have better opportunities and to go to a prestigious school, so he could pursue the job and the career that he wanted. After all, a renowned school would lead him to success. The day came and went, as I eagerly awaited for James's response. At around 17 o'clock, the door opened and slammed shut. So, how did it go? There was a moment of silence that I swear lasted an eternity, as I tried to read his facial expressions. I got the job! Congrats! Here, I cooked this cake for this special occasion. You want some? Of course, I'm starving. A week passed by until I heard another strange noise. Like if an animal was scratching wood with its sharp claws. Thank God that we will leave this place next month, I thought. The next morning I had a look at the entrance door, and I didn't find any scratch marks. So I checked all around the house, and curiously there wasn't a single scratch mark anywhere to be found. I must have hallucinated it, I thought, probably one of the symptoms of pregnancy. The worst part was that I couldn't research if what I thought was indeed correct, since where we lived civilization still had to break in so we could get internet. If not, we had to take the highway to another town for groceries, which is another reason why we wanted to get out of here ASAP. Some time passed, and I began to feel this weird sensation of being watched. A week before, I was hearing scratching noises every single night. It drove me crazy. I even stood guard one night with James's rifle on our front porch to kill that wretched animal, but somehow when I was about to spot from where the scratching noises came from, the sounds changed direction. After some time, I surrendered and went back to my bed. Then a week passed and the scratching noises stopped. But, as I told you, the sensation of being observed began. When I was going to fall asleep, I felt a presence in a room, and I felt the need to search the room, like when you're a child, and you have the need to check if there is something under your bed. One night, I woke up in a sweat and noticed I had an itching sensation on my neck. I poked it and found out that there was a tiny pimple. I asked James if he had seen or felt anything strange in our home. He said no and to leave him alone because he had a lot of work to do. I noticed he also had the strange red pimple on his neck. I was falling asleep. I was feeling miserable. For the last 48 hours, I couldn't get a wink of sleep. I was feeling weaker, and James and I became paler over time. But I was determined to put an end to the awful person that was pulling the pranks. 3 days ago, I saw human footprints printed on the corner of our room. Not only did that freak me out, but James didn't even want to listen to me. He was glued to the computer, preparing and planning our big move to the city. He seemed drained, but it would be all worth it once we would get out of there, we thought. I laid there fixating the corner of the room when I saw it. I had to squint my eyes at first to be able to see it. I wish I hadn't. It was not human, but yet it had human proportions. The best and only description would be like if someone that wasn't good at drawing drew a human, and that thing was staring at you with misshapen eyes and a queer grin. It was obscured by the shadows, but a pale ray of moonlight unveiled so much detail. It is just too hideous for me to explain. The fact that I even stayed sane surprises me. I screamed, and James woke up startled. He asked what happened, and I showed him frantically shaking the corner of the room with my finger. When he saw it, he jumped on his 2 feet, and we both got out of there. The thing bolted at us, but thankfully, James slammed the door with the force that he had left in him. The thing was now trying to break the door while screaming high-pitched nasal sounds.
Go get the rifle!
He yelled as he held the door shut. I went downstairs to go search for the rifle, opening every door. When I found it, I felt a little safer. But then in the basement, I noticed something that wasn't there before. There was a pool of blood, and on it were little bubbles. I was horrified of what was happening. There were little creatures inside that resembled the monster. Then I heard wind passing by. It startled me because this area of the house didn't have any windows. But then I saw the gaping hole in the far corner. I was going to go upstairs, but then I saw something moving inside the bubbles. I could hear little moans coming out of them. then and there I screamed. While I was stomping the little eggs, I hope I killed them all. I would have burned the place to the ground if it wasn't raining. I went back upstairs, hoping that the door held strong. When I arrived, I saw James's back. I told him that I had the gun, so we could go to the car. When the creature emerged from the shadows, holding him by the throat, swallowing his blood with the straw that protruded from his mouth. As it approached me, the last thing I heard James say was, "Get out!" And that's what I tried to do. On the counter were the keys. I tried to grab them when the hideous creature threw James's body at me. The body hit my knee, and I fell face first to the ground. As the monster was approaching me, I took the rifle and shot the creature on its torso. I felt the impact of the discharge hitting my collarbone and fracturing it. Thankfully, the creature backed off and let a harsh screech. I did not hesitate. When it charged at me, I got up. I shot another time as fast as I could, and it dropped down. To make sure that it stayed down, I shot several rounds in his head. Then I took the keys and stepped outside where it was pouring rain. I opened the door, feeling empty inside. I tried to turn the key in the ignition, but nothing happened. I went outside and I found out that my car had a fuel leakage. So I locked myself inside. And now I am writing this. I am about to fall asleep, but I'm hearing scratching noises outside. Thank you for watching, and remember, sleep with one eye open.